مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا.
وآتوا النساء صدقا إن طبن لكم عن شيء منه نفسا فكلوه هنيئا مريئا.
Give women their dower in good cheer. Then, if they forego some of it, of their own will, you may have it as pleasant and joyful.
ولا تؤتوا السفهاء أموالكم التي جعل الله لكم قياما وارزقوهم فيها واكسوهم وقولوا لهم قولا معروفا.
Do not give the feeble-minded your property that Allah has made a means of support for you, and do feed them from it, and clothe them, and speak to them in fair words.
وابتلوا اليتامى حتى إذا بلغوا النكاح فإن آنستم منهم رشدا فادفعوا إليهم أموالهم ولا تأكلوها إسرافا وبدارا أن يكبروا ومن كان غنيا فليستعفف ومن كان فقيرا فليأكل بالمعروف فإذا دفعتم إليهم أموالهم فأشهدوا عليهم وكفى بالله حسيبا.
Test the orphans until they reach the marriageable age. Then, if you perceive in them proper understanding, hand their property over to them, and do not consume it extravagantly and hastily, lest they should grow up. Whoever is rich should abstain from using it for himself, and whoever is poor may have from it, to the extent of his necessary need, with fairness. So, when you hand their property over to them, make witnesses upon them. Allah is sufficient for reckoning.
So verse number 4, 5, and 6 we heard. In the verse number 4, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدُقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلًا. What it is the mahar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that when you marry a woman, give her happily her mahar, and do not just show her that you're doing a favor on her. This is not a favor. A woman mahar is important, and some scholars do not perform the marriage ceremony till they give the cash. This is one thing called muwajjal and mu'ajjal. Muwajjal is when you are marrying right there, they will not perform the nikah till you promise that you have the money and give it to her. And muwajjal is the one which is delayed. Mu'ajjal is the one which is delayed, that she agreed that you can give her gift later. Many men do not do that, and sometimes they say, oh, you can set up whatever you want, I'm not intending to give her. That is actually, Prophet says, that is haram, and that marriage is not valid, and it is considered a zina. That's a fornication, because woman's gift is her right, and that money is her pure and her own money. And many men will say, oh, I'm going to give this much dower, but they did not intend to, and they do not. That is a major sin. Actually, if a person did not give mahar and he passed away, his inheritance will not be distributed until the mahar of the wife is given from that money. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِن تِبْنَ لَكُمْ عَنْ شَيْءٍ مِّنْهُ. And if you both agree and forego, if she allows, that, okay, yes, you can share with my money, and she can, both of you can, minhu nafsan fakulu haniyam mariya, that you both can have a pleasant and joyful marriage life. So in other words, it's her money. She can forgive, but do not force her to forgive it. And it will be, if she does not forgive it from the heart, even though once somebody forced her, and the day of judgment, that person will not enter the paradise. This is something very important we should understand, that mahar, the gift, the dower, whichever word we want to use, it is agreement that a man would give, and do not make it so difficult that the men cannot be married. And actually, time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, women were asking a lot of mahar, and many men were not able to afford. So he said, we will set a limit of certain 400 dinar or so. So one of the ladies stood up and she said, Umar, you, even though you are our Khalifa, you are our leader, or you're a ruler, but if Allah in the Quran and His Prophet, Messenger, peace be upon him, did not make a restriction upon us, who gave you the right to do so? And Umar says, yes, thank you. Woman gave a wisdom to Umar. So this is how it is, that she has a right to ask what she thinks she's worth. And next verse is about the girls when they are getting mature, or the boys when they are orphans and you are taking care of them. Allah is saying then, وَلَا تُؤْسُوا السُّفَهَاءَ أَمْوَالَكُمْ. Do not give a feeble-minded, immature children their wealth. الَّتِي جَعَلَ لَكُمْ فِيهَا قِيَامًا. That you are being made the means of support for you. So Allah has made a means of support for you. About your children and orphan children, particularly in this reference to وَارْزُقْهُمْ فِيهَا وَاكْسُوهُمْ وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. So then feed them, dress them, give them the clothes and all that, and speak to them in the fair and kind words. So just treat them like your children. As now we are seeing more and more elaboration coming in. The last time we heard about children who are orphan or who are in your custody, or their slave, you cannot give them their name. Their name should be their parents' or father's name. And here they're saying that you cannot take their wealth. You can share with them if you need certain amount for your own family care, because you're not rich enough to provide for them completely. You should use your own living cost from your own income. وَابْتَلُوا الْيَتَامَ حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا. So test the young orphan till they become mature enough. Balagul nikah, when they are old enough to be marriageable. What is the age of marriage for the girls? And particularly this is all about, and boys as well, but the girls is mainly until, what is the age of marriage? Till they have puberty. That is considered adult. And the boy, when they have pubic hair and they become adult mature. فَإِنْ آنَسْتُمْ مِنْهُمْ. And if you feel that they have become mature, أَنَسْتُمْ مِنْهُمْ رُشْدًا فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُم. Then you can give them, once you test them and you see that they are able to deal with it, then you can transfer their wealth to them. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوهَا إِسْرَافًا وَبِدَارًا أَن يَكْبَرُوا. So do not spend or consume their wealth extravagantly and hastily in your personal use. وَمَنْ كَانَ غَنِيًا فَلْيَسْتَعَفِفْ. If one of you who has sufficient wealthiness of his own, or is wealthy and he has, or they have some orphans with them from family or whoever, they should not use the wealth of the orphan. وَمَنْ كَانَ فَقِيرًا فَلْيَأْكُلْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. If one who is also guardian, taking care of poor, and does not have much wealth, so he can, or that family can share one or some of their wealth with the orphans' wealth as a norm of the community. فَإِذَا دَفَعْتُمْ إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ فَاشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِمْ. And when you return, when they become mature and adult, that they are ready to be transferred the wealth, do not do it quietly or secretly. Make sure you bring some witness with you when you transfer the wealth, so tomorrow they will not say that, oh, you didn't give me my money, or you gave me less of the money. So this is something very important, that you should have a witness when you turn over the wealth of the orphan to them at the age when they are grown up adult. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ حَسِيبًا. And indeed Allah is sufficient for reckoning. So these are the rules, as you could see, that Surah Al-Imran, Surah Baqarah, Surah An-Nissa, Surah Al-Ma'idah, these are the chapters in which a lot of laws, divinely revealed laws, are being explained here. Let's listen to the verse number 7. As you see, we are going very slow, only because there's so much details to be explained. That is the Islamic Sharia.
للرجال نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون وللنساء نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون وللنساء نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون مما قل منه أو كثر نصيبا مفروضا.
For men there is a share in what the parents and the nearest of kin have left. And for women there is a share in what the parents and the nearest of kin have left, be it small or large, underscore a determined share.
وإذا حضر القسمة أولو القربى واليتامى والمساكين فارزقوهم منه وقولوا لهم قولا معروفا.
If the relatives, who are not heirs, and the orphans and the needy are present at the time of distribution, give them some of it, and speak to them in fair words.
So these two, verse 7 and 8, is about a person when he passes away. There is a one direct command, yet there's an explanation how the inheritance to be distributed. So this is the verse which is coming that لِلرِّجَالِ النَّصِيبُ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ. For the men there's a share in what the parents have left, and the near kin means uncle and aunts and others or brothers, sisters, they are the near kin and the grandparents. So when they pass away, for men there is a share, and for the women there is a share, that what the parents and near kin leave. And whether be it small or large, to be determined in the share, which is Quran. Its next verse is coming about it. Verse number 11 and 12 has a detail, but this is a prelude to understand where we are directing next. And then وَإِذَا حَضَرَ الْقِسْمَةَ ulul qurba. And if the relatives who are not heirs, but they are near relative when they came at the time of somebody's passing away, and the orphans and the needy are present at the time of distribution. So these are the three kind of people beside heir. One is the relatives who are not entitled to get that, or the orphans, and the poor relatives or the needies who are coming or who are relative, but at the time of death they are there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَارْزُقُوهُم مِّنْهُ. They give them some among your share with them. Like if I get my inheritance, and if I want to give for the name and love of my parents to my other parents' relatives or my relatives who are poor, needy, or orphan or destitute, so those relatives will bless, make dua for the deceased one and your family. وَقُولُوا لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. And do not treat them with the harsh word that these people have shown up at the time to just get the money and they don't care. This kind of wording should not be used, even though they did not come in a time when you're good. But because they're blood relatives, there is whatever you want to give them, not as a part of inheritance, as a part of just for them being there. This is something very, very unusual. In Islam wants to distribute the wealth. If you distribute wealth among the poor and needy, you will find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why Allah has made a 1/3 will, as we will be coming. We have heard earlier before. So let's listen to the verse number 9.
وَلْيَخْشَ الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا. يوصيكم الله.
So verse number 9 and 10, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again reminding that people should be conscious and fearful about the fact that when somebody died and he left orphan children, and what they are helpless, the children, again, children are considered those who have not reached the puberty in Islam. So that those are children. And even though some children take time to mature mentally, even though physically they build up and grown up, and boys mature later than the girls, as we know psychologically and our experience in life. So those should be treated with respect and honor. فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. So be conscious and be fearful of Allah, and use kind words and treat them respectfully and honorably. And then again reminding and a warning that those who eat the wealth of or property of the orphan, they do nothing but devour fire in their guts and their bellies, and they will be thrown into sayasla naran sa'ira, that is one of the level of the hell, one of the 7 level of the hell. That person will be thrown in the blazing fire of the hell. So we have to be very, very careful. So when these revelation came in, as I mentioned earlier, people start separating their belonging and their food with the others. So this is something very, very important. Now next verse are 2 very important verses, and this is about the inheritance law. There was first command came in to write the will and just die, or whenever you have the money, you should write the will anytime. But there was no amount was written. But this particular revelation came in when the inheritance share were determined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How much a boy will get, how much a girl will get, how much mom will get, how much dad will get, how much wife will get, how much grandparents will get, or the other children or the cousins or brothers, sisters, their children. So what a person should do. So we are only allowed to write the will of 1/3 and less than 1/3, not more than 1/3. And we are not allowed to write a share for the child who will be getting inheritance, or in the family members, the wife or other person. So in other words, will is for those who are not part of the heir or inheritance, which is mentioned by the Quran. So I will begin with this verse. Let's listen to this.